Let's begin by coming down onto our backs, bending the knees and planting the soles of the feet. We're going to set ourselves up so that we have a long spine with the lower back very slightly lifted and the arms in cactus position at shoulder height. Take some time to make sure that you know what's touching the floor here. So from your shoulders down to your elbows, maybe the wrists and the backs of the hands. And we're going to try our best as we come into movement to maintain those areas touching the floor. Drawing the belly in just a little bit to support the spine, slowly reach the arms overhead and then draw the elbows back down into cactus. What's important with this movement is that instead of going for as much distance as possible, we go for as much contact as possible with the ground. So each time you reach your arms up and overhead, try to be aware of what stays connected to the floor and don't go past the point where something starts to feel like it's going to come off. I know this is hard, but this is the really good work that helps to strengthen those little back muscles. You can continue with it as is or bring your knees into a 90-degree angle, shins parallel to the floor. If you're adding in this core work, make sure that you don't compromise your upper body work. So we're going to alternate extending one leg out and bringing it back into that 90-degree and doing that at the same time that the arms are reaching overhead. This is slow and it's subtle. So engaging in the core, but maintaining that work in the upper back each time. Let's try a couple more, just alternating from one side to the other. Check in with your breath. Check in if you're getting a little bit tired here. Nice and steady. And maybe just finishing that off. And as you feel like you're done with the last round, you can bring your knees into your chest. So alternating one more time each side, and then bringing it in. Feel the shoulders as you hug your knees into your chest, and just notice what that's like. You can even curl your spine up if you want to bring your nose towards your knees. And from there, we're going to bring ourselves up through sitting and making our way into a table position. If you have a block, take a block and place it on your sacrum. So right on that lower spine, on that flat bony area. We're using this for feedback to help to keep us as steady as possible in the hips, in the pelvis, and in the core. And then the action here, once you've steadied your spine, is just to bring one arm out at a time in a cactus position. And exhale and bring it back down. Come to the right side, inhaling and bringing the elbow and arm out. And slowly pressing that back down. Going back and forth here, again, these are slow and subtle movements, practicing steadying and stabilizing in our body. You can keep going with your breath. If you want to add in here, we're going to add something in the next round. So as you come into that left side, reach the left elbow out, then stretch the arm alongside the ear, pull the elbow back down, and bring your left hand to the floor. So this add-on can continue with the other side, or you can go back to the other version. Bringing elbow back in and placing it down. So cactus arm, as you inhale, bringing it out to the side. You can exhale, extend the arm, keep your core steady. Bend the elbow, bring it back in. And exhale and release down. Switching sides, inhaling, bringing that right elbow out. Stretch alongside your ear. Draw back. And place it down. Again, inhale left. And reach. And draw in. And down. Notice what you're feeling as you progress this. And lift right side and reach. And bring it in. and take it down. We'll remove the block here and slowly let yourself pull back into child's pose. And just feel out those shoulders. Feel out your upper back. And let things round for a moment. Just aware of that effort. If you want to, you can bend your elbows, place the hands on the backs of your shoulders here in your child's pose for a moment. And breathe and be. Little stretch for your triceps in this movement. And as you're ready, come on back into a table position, and this time take your blocks, 2 of them, and bring one under each hand. So if you have fatter blocks, you may have them on sort of the skinny way. We're going to try to keep our lower back nice and steady, fill it out, breathe back into your kidneys. And then with the hands on the blocks, the core steady and stable, slowly begin by lifting one elbow up and back and placing the hand back down. So you're holding onto your blocks and you're using them as kind of little weights to draw the elbow alongside the ribs and lower down. Think of this more of like a triceps movement, so kind of a chaturanga movement as you alternate from side to side. Trying your best to keep the torso, the pelvis, and the legs steady. So it really becomes an action and engagement around the shoulder girdle and the muscles of the shoulder and upper back. Stay with breath. Try to notice all the subtleties here in this movement. And just finishing up, you can move the blocks to the side, bring your palms flat, and here tucking the toes under, give yourself a nice stretch back into downward facing dog. If you want to pedal out the heels or move anything, you can go ahead and do so. And find your steady breath here. And find your shoulders and your shoulder blades on your back. That's a lot of subtle work that you've just been doing. And here in downward facing dog, lift your right leg up into the air. As you exhale, step your right foot between your hands, lift up to your fingertips. We're going to keep our body low, roll the shoulders so we're just hovering, and then from there, take your left elbow out into cactus, then your right. Squeeze between the shoulder blades a little bit to turn on those rhomboid muscles, and hold, and then exhale and release. Step it back, come into downward facing dog, and lifting up through the left leg. And same thing on the left side, stepping the foot between your hands, coming to hover just above the floor, shoulder blades on the back, roll those shoulders, then right arm out in cactus, left arm out in cactus. Take a breath in, squeezing, and exhale, and stepping back into downward facing dog. Allow yourself to breathe deep, inhale here, and exhale. And again, breathing in here and out. From there, slowly lower your knees. Bring yourself back into table and just take a few shoulder rolls here. So you're going to kind of go in both directions and just try to articulate your shoulders and your shoulder blades from that position. Bring your blocks back underneath your hands. And you can do it the same way as we did last time. Or option here to also tuck your toes under, increasing the intensity by hovering the knees as we lift and lower our blocks. If this feels like it's too much, come back into the knees down version. If this seems like it's fun, go ahead and give it a try. How can we stabilize the lower body, the torso, and just move those arms into that kind of chaturanga position? Keep going here, one side and the other. And the work really is just trying to stay as stable as we can in the torso, in the hips and legs. So if you need to take the knees down because it's getting harder, it's getting more tiring, you can always do that and do some rounds with the knees down. You've got this. Stay with your breath. Lower the knees. All done. Sit back on your heels. And if you want to, just interlacing the hands behind the back, reaching those elbows towards each other and then drawing the knuckles towards the ground and giving yourself just a little bit of an opening through the front of the chest. Notice how alive your shoulders are feeling right now, how sort of activated and engaged they might be. You can swing them out, shake them out, and then moving your blocks to the side again, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, and we'll take ourselves back into downward facing dog. Lengthening up through the hips, let's take that right leg up into the air. And again, step your right foot between your hands. This time you might feel ready to bring both arms off at the same time, inhaling one at a time or both and bringing them into cactus. We're squeezing through the shoulders and then inhale, reach the arms along the ears and pull back into cactus. So each time you're going to do this movement, again, trying to figure out how to feel the back muscles. This one is a nice way to activate our lower trap muscles. Let's try again, just a couple more. Inhaling and exhaling. And then release the hands down to the floor and step this back. Let's come into plank position, lower all the way down and come to your belly. On your belly, interlace your hands, squeeze your elbows, lift your shoulders away from the floor, and just inhale the upper body, coming into a little bit of a locust pose. You can lift the legs off as well if you want to here. And take that breath and awareness. Steady. And exhale and release back down. Hands underneath shoulders, press back and make your way into downward facing dog. And we're ready to take that on the other side with the left leg inhaling and stepping forward on the exhale. Again, you can move with one arm at a time here or both. We're going to bring those elbows out to the side, cactus arms, body hovers. Stay nice and low, and then reach the arms overhead and slowly pull back. This is a nice way also to activate the lat muscles, to feel the serratus muscles. So reaching overhead and pulling back with your breath. Keeping everything steady, everything still, and engaging in that core. Release the hands down. And from there, again, you can step it back into plank position and lower all the way through and onto your belly. This time, bring your arms wide in a cactus position. Forehead resting on the floor. Make fists with your hands. Make sure those elbows are in line with your shoulders. We're going to lift the arms up first, then lift the body in locust, and then lower everything down. So the first engagement is the rhomboid muscles, squeezing the arms up, lifting them up, and then taking the body up and lowering everything back down. And you can try that again, and just each time really focusing on breaking the movement down into its component parts and then relaxing. Here we go. Squeeze, lift, and exhale and lower. And one last time, press and squeeze. You've got it. And exhale and release. You can turn your head to one side and just kind of let your arms come alongside your body. Wiggle your hips. Relax for a second. And then from there, press it back. Again, an active child's pose here on your fingertips, maybe allowing that upper back time to stretch out and holding steady and just resting, but feeling all of this out in your body. When you're ready to come up to sitting and bring your arms wide at shoulder height, we're going to take the right elbow below the left and then hold on to our shoulder blades. So either tops of the shoulders or shoulder blades. And then go ahead and curl your spine inward. So this is a stretching out between the shoulder blades, allowing the shoulder blades to move out to the side. Switch over, widen the arms, bring your left elbow below the right. Take a big breath in, exhale, and again, curl forward and down, and just let those back muscles stretch out and relax the arms. Nice little stretch there. One more thing here, coming into rabbit pose. You can hold onto your heels, lift your hips, lower the top of the head to the floor, and then slowly apply that energy of trying to lift your hips up so that we get a nice big stretch between the shoulder blades. And then whenever you're ready, exhale and release. Sit back on your heels or sit comfortably for a moment and just observe the shoulders. You can shrug them. Notice how that feels. Great stabilizing, great work here for those subtle muscles in our back body. Easing out of this, take a couple of nice breaths for yourself, thanking yourself for making this time today, appreciating the stillness. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day.